Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. On the line right now is Sue. She's been waiting for a little while here. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good, Sue. What do you think?
Well, a couple things. I heard on the news today, I don't know what station I was watching this morning, Bernie Sanders and how the millenniums are so gung-ho about him until they are out there working. And their mind gets changed rather quickly when they see, free tuition, free health care. They see now how much it's costing them to be out in the workforce and have taxes automatically removed from your paycheck.
Right.
And now they're seeing, okay, Bernie, these things are going to be wonderful, but how much more is going to be taken out of my paycheck?
Well, right. For everybody to get free, we'd be... see, the philosophy is, right, it would be this socialist philosophy that everybody lives well. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but maybe we're born with it, maybe we're brainwashed, I don't know. But I love the opportunity to do really well. I love to be able to work hard and work towards doing really well. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Right?
I agree. And these kids graduating from college, the new ones, the millennials, whatever.
Yeah.
They're not getting high-paying jobs right off the get-go. And, they got their loans to pay for and whatever. And if they think it's going to be, nothing is free.
Right,
and I don't think they realize that yet until they really start working and having to pay those bills and starting to see that you're out there working. And there are people that are getting a free ride, let's face it, you know.
Yeah.
And you do build in that resentment. And the older you get, the more resentment there is. Anyway, and as far as Donald Trump, his behavior, he always says how everybody who works for him loves him and everything. And they're saying now that there's two Donald Trumps. Now, are there two Donald Trumps also in the workplace, and we're really not hearing from the people that are disgruntled?
Yeah.
It might have worked for him, and just keep their mouth shut. You just don't know.
You don't know. Who do you support, Sue?
Right now, I'm leaning towards Hillary.
Okay.
But, they can change, too. But
sure.
I just can't understand the Republican Party. And I see there's quite a few more Republican people, the senators, that are going to be speaking to the Supreme Court Justice nominee.
Yeah, that's happening right now. It's going to be this convention is going to be very, very interesting. There's no doubt about it.
It is, and they're coming to their senses. They probably realize we better get somebody on the Supreme Court because there's so many things that they're not even voting on because there's no majority. And how about the show going on TV?
I can't tell you anything officially, but I will tell you unofficially coming soon. Okay?
Wonderful. All
right. Thank you, Sue. I really appreciate it.
Go Syracuse.
Okay. Go Cuse. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Houston.
Bye-bye.
Apostrophe Houston. In studio right now is Arlene Fedlmeier, and Arlene is a local attorney, announced her candidacy for the 101st New York State Assembly seat yesterday. She promises voters, I'll fight for you in Albany for jobs, tax relief, and good growth for our communities. And in studio right now, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks for coming on, Arlene. Are you? Did you move back to the area? You have been here? What's the story?
We've been going back and forth for years. This is where my in-laws come from.
Mm-hmm.
And like so many people around here, we had to leave for the better jobs. And then we took retirements from the federal government. We started a law practice. We're back and forth between there and here.
Okay. Where is there, by the way, again?
Riverdale. In the Bronx.
Okay, down that way. Mm-hmm. So you're back and forth.
Yes.
And by the way, we are streaming this live on Facebook Live. Did I say that right? I don't know how to say it. It's on Facebook Live, so you can watch it live on Facebook right now. Arlene, you are a Democrat, and this is a long district. Have you seen the district?
Yes, it's 150 miles long. For me, that's an advantage because living down there and up here.
And up here, you already...
The house down there is an hour away from the southern side of the district.
Got it. Okay, so that's convenient for you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's go over a couple of issues if we could. Now, one thing they're going to ask you about right off the bat is guns. What are your thoughts on guns and gun control? And what are your thoughts?
I am going to be going over to Remington Arms and talking to them. They are a big employer around here, and I want to hear what they have to say. What troubles me is this. The SAFE Act needs to be tweaked because there are things that are going wrong in this area. First of all, we're not keeping the guns away from criminals, and we're not keeping the guns away from people with mental problems.
Right.
We all know that. We've got to figure out something better.
And what would be? But a lot of people will say, I mean, especially on the Republican side, are going to say we've got to get rid of the SAFE Act altogether.
Well, this is the thing. Hunters have to hunt. Hobbyists need to keep their guns. We've got to keep children safe. These are all issues we've got to sit down and talk about in a rational way.
Should there ever be a point where we say you can have this many guns, but this many is way too many?
Nah.
Not even touch that. And what about microstamping? What are your thoughts? This keeps coming back up especially in the Assembly, and on the Democrat, New York City Democrat side. What are your thoughts there?
Well, this is why I want to talk to Remington Arms, because if they can improve the technology, it may be good business for them.
And what if they say, I mean, right now they're saying that it would really, really hurt their business. It would cost them way too much.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But by the same token, technology improves.
Right.
Let's see what's going on in the future.
Okay. Andrew Dominion.
Yes, Arlene, recently the vote in the Assembly was over the MMA debate. What's your stance on that? Would you have voted in support of it?
Just voted to be passed in New York State. Where would you have been on that if you were in the Assembly?
Okay. I would have to look and see.
Yeah.
What I'm most interested in is people's safety.
Got it.
Got it?
Healthcare, your thoughts on healthcare?
Healthcare, people need insurance, and I'm so glad that so many people are getting it. And that is jobs for the region. Healthcare will generate healthcare jobs.
Yeah. How do you feel that if you're in the Assembly, you'd be a Democrat, so you'd be among the majority. Exactly. But how do you differentiate between, because there's a very big difference between the wants and needs of a New York City Democrat in the Assembly and a Democrat upstate in the Assembly. How will you be able to handle that?
Okay, let me explain that I've been around here since 1970.
Okay.
I understand this region. I have seen the population dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. I understand that down there, the jobs are better. The salary is better. But down there, the cost of living is horrible.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons people can be attracted up here. When people down there start learning what it can cost them to live comfortably up here.
Yeah.
And
this
not
is the cost
only,
of a house alone.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but really, I think people should think of these newcomers as taxpayers. People will come up here. They will take houses that have been off the market, rehab them, generate business, and generate taxes. That means everybody else's tax bill goes down.
Goes down.
Yep.
Speaking of wages, the big issue right now, of course, they're battling it out right now, and that is the $15 minimum wage. Your thoughts there?
Oh, I am absolutely in favor of raising the minimum wage. That is going to help everybody because people who are making the minimum wage will have more money to spend. And if they spend it, it will improve the whole regional economy.
And but a lot of businesses say, and small businesses, and the Chamber of Commerce came out here locally and said,
"Oh, I know.
this would strangle, put a stranglehold on us. We couldn't. The businesses up here just could not afford it.
The businesses up here will get more customers. That's my answer to that.
You believe that will happen? So
Oh,
a higher
yes.
wage, more customers.
Absolutely.
And how does that work?
How does that work?
Yeah.
It's regulated. Higher wage.
Right. I understand
Right.
that, but how does the
Okay.
more customer part work?
How does the more customer part work? People who are making the minimum wage will have more money to buy things.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So thus, it all will work out.
It all will work
it all
out.
works out in the end.
Also, I would like to assure the Chamber of Commerce faction, it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about the guy down the street is paying a little more than I am, and it's competition. Everybody's the same.
I do want to ask you though. One element of the there's two things I want to go with you on the wage. Number one of the problems is that there are people that are currently working, so there's minimum wage, and then there's a little bit above minimum wage, and the staff that's been there that's maybe making $15 an hour, and they've worked there for 10 years, and they're doing, in their eyes, they're doing very well at $15 an hour. Now all of a sudden, minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour. What do you do to the rest of your staff? Or even the guy who's making $20 an hour saying, how come these guys are all getting a raise? What about me?
There's an old phrase, all boats float.
Yeah.
If I'm talking about business is going to improve, maybe everybody's going to improve. Let's hope that happens.
Okay, so same thing is, in your eyes, the same result. More money, more disposable income, and it all seems to work out. And then the other thing is, it's interesting how we look at downstate and upstate. And I understand the cost of living is different, and people do get paid more usually when you go downstate and down closer to the city and Long Island and that sort of thing. Are you okay with this gradual plan that is being really negotiated right now, and there'd be an exemption for farmers and for other small businesses, but we won't see $15 here if it passes until 2021, I think. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd like to speed it up a little, but I do think you've got to ease it in.
Okay. So it's got to be gradual.
Sure.
Where it'll
but
be
exemptions. I'm
you're not
so
too good
happy
on the
with them.
exemptions.
No.
Okay. So for farmers, for instance, no exemption or exemption?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's a maybe.
And then the small business, you don't think so?
No, because everybody is on the same playing field.
Right.
And especially small businesses on main streets all over the region, you're going to see more customers. You're going to see more people walking around on Main Street.
Got it. And how are you going to campaign? You've got a long district. It is kind of convenient that you have the downstate house and the house up here. But how will you campaign in this extremely narrow, snake-like district?
Well, there are counties. And if you do it county by county, that's a little easier.
Yeah.
I love meeting people. If I'm sitting down for a cup of coffee, I love to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's great. And organizations, I'll be out there.
You'll be there.
Oh, yes.
Arlene Fedlmeier is running for assembly, and you might be running against Claudia Tenney, but we're not really sure at this point. That could happen. We won't know really till, I guess, probably until after the Republican primary, which will be happening at the end of June. So, Arlene, we appreciate the time. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more from you.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Thanks so much. Quick break here at 8:54 at WIBX.